You know, I think just to say it at the top of this Big Ten report brought to us by Jason's Deli, that if we were going to be talking about one team already wrapping up going to the Big Ten title game by week 11, I would have for sure thought it was Bucky. I cannot believe.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
Northwestern, yeah. He's Eric, I'm Rich. This is the Big Ten report brought to us by Jason's Deli. And yeah, for those of you that spent 3 hours watching that Badger game on Saturday, I'm sorry, 3 hours kind of felt like 10. It was a rough game to watch. First 3 plays of the game on offense for the Badgers looked great. Jonathan Taylor's gone. It's a 7-0 lead. From that point on, there was not much of anything going on for Bucky on offense.
Well, I mean, it was the same formula. It's Jonathan Taylor run between the tackles, and there you go. And then once you start loading up the box, it was they didn't give him room to bounce to the outside, and then it was forcing Jack Cohn to throw the ball, which didn't go well. So he completed, I think, 9 passes for 60 yards the entire game. So he's not going to be that kind of quarterback that you're going to depend on for, you know, if you thought maybe Alex Hornibrook wasn't your guy and you were hoping for Jack Cohn, he's not there yet.
Yeah, and Jack Cohn had set all kinds of records in the state of New York and on Long Island. And, you know, this guy was supposed to be a pretty prolific passer. He's kind of looked lost, and I get it. I mean, it's kind of hard to get thrown into the mix, especially both of his starts have been on the road. But, man, I mean, the passing game just looks anemic for the Badgers. In fact, it might be the worst that I can remember the Badger game, going all the way back to maybe like the Don Morton era of the Veer offense. I mean, I think it's been that bad. It's been a rough go for the Badgers passing the ball. Who would have thought that the Quintez Cephas thing would have had that much of an impact? Yeah,
I mean, I don't know how much to blame that on, but quarterback play obviously hasn't been great this year, and 4 turnovers, all responsible by Jack Cohn was responsible for in that game. 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles, and I mean, you're not going to win any ball games doing that. So a 22-10 loss, I guess the score isn't so lopsided, but it definitely was not fun to watch.
No, not at all. It was a tough one. Another tough one to watch, unless you really love defensive football, was Northwestern Iowa.
Right.
I muddled through that one. I was pressing through because I wanted to see if Iowa could win, at least keep the Badgers alive in the Big Ten West chase. That did not happen. Northwestern wins on the road 14-10 in a bit of a slugfest. And again, that means Wisconsin is out. All that's left basically for Bucky now is Paul Bunyan's axe and some kind of bowl game in late December.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you lose Olivier Sogopolo for the year with an arm injury, and you're kind of figuring out what you're going to do at quarterback. If Alex Hornibrook is healthy enough moving forward to play, is it worth it to play him? All that kind of stuff. So yeah, Northwestern, they get the win here, and they're gonna beat Iowa, and now they're in the Big Ten title game. Northwestern is awaiting their opponent, likely going to be Ohio State or Michigan. So you kind of look on that side of it. It's not super exciting. You think, oh, the Big Ten West champions, Northwestern.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. And a team that's barely over, I think they're 6-4 or something. I mean, it's just, yeah, they're 6-4 overall. They're the Big Ten West champions. I mean, that's just pretty abysmal. Iowa, by the way, was up 3-0 in that game at halftime. I'm telling you, it was a hard watch. In fact, most of the conference yesterday was kind of hard to watch in general.
Well, boy, I mean, Iowa, by the way, I mean, they've lost 3 straight now, so they thought they were, again, competing with Wisconsin for the Big Ten West, and they've fallen off, obviously. Now they're taking on Illinois, which maybe is going to be a win, maybe not, because what Illinois did last week, they put up 55 points, and their offense, again, showing up at 35 points, but you're letting Nebraska put up 54 points on you. They started 0-6, Nebraska.
Lovie Smith, by the way, enough of the Tampa 2 already, okay? It's not working anymore. Hardy Nickerson, their defensive coordinator, and, maybe he could think of something else, but it's just not working in Illinois defensively. And then look at this score down at the bottom here. Minnesota pounding Purdue. Technically, Purdue was still alive in the Big Ten West as well.
Right.
They didn't show up in that game at all.
I mean, just look at some of the records. I mean, you have 5-5 Minnesota and Purdue. This is a down year for, Big Ten in general. I think there's probably 2 teams left that are really any good, and that'd be Michigan and Ohio State. I may be wavering by saying Michigan State maybe, but that's really it.
That's it. I mean, the Big Ten, and we kind of knew this. We were talking about it way back in week number 1 and 2. I mean, when the Big Ten was getting trounced in the non-conference football games, it was just kind of ugly all season long. A team, though, that's red hot, the Michigan Wolverines, they pound Rutgers. Not as bad as they did 2 years ago when they beat them 78-0 in New Jersey, but that's pretty close to that. Michigan right now is hot, and if anybody can keep Ohio State from that Big Ten championship game, it is the Wolverines.
Yeah, absolutely. So you got to think that's going to be a game that down the line they do face off with each other, if I'm not mistaken. So that's going to be again another game that's going to have that to round out the season and really matter. So that's the last game of the season, regular season before the Big Ten title game. So a lot to be decided in the last couple weeks of the season.
Yeah, Ohio State keeps their hopes alive, a 26-6 win at Michigan State. If you were flipping around and watching any part of that game, I'm sorry as well. That was another ugly game.
Well, that was interesting too, because Michigan State got pinned deep in their own territory 5 or 6 times in the second half, and ended up even snapping the ball from their own 2-yard line. And instead of punting out of their end zone, they decided, let's just snap it out of the end and get a safety. And
I think that ball ended up in the stands. I don't even know that's possible.
Well, hey, that long snapper's got some power.
It was 20 feet over the punter's head. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was a terrible week in the Big Ten. Bad week for Bucky. Hopefully we got better news to report next week. For Eric, I'm Rich. This has been the Jason's Deli Big Ten Report.